Hello, my name is Jill from Jill is Speaking, and welcome to my vidcast. Welcome to my vidcast. There we go. I know there's probably a more official term for it, but I will not be doing that research. No ma'am. Okay, what are we talking about today? We are talking about sex and dance hall.
Me, as the teacher, world boss.
But more specifically, the weird in-between that I had growing up, coming from a Jamaican conservative family. When I say conservative, I mean more culturally conservative, not politically. You know, we were still black, but we were very traditional. Like, not we, sorry, my elders and the people that raised me were very traditional. But at the same time, I grew up listening to dancehall music. Now, what is dancehall music? Dancehall music is a genre derived from Jamaica, and it is
munching, mingy, nugget.
It can be very vulgar. But when I say vulgar, don't think that I mean it in the way that is, I'm looking like I say vulgar. I mean, it's 1, 2, 3, ABC, 2 + 2 = 4.
I have a penis for your vagina hole.
It discusses sex, it discusses money, it discusses, you know, what it's like growing up in Jamaica and in poverty and the things you have to do with this. It discusses gang violence, it discusses, you know, it discusses all of that, but also it's dance hall. It gets the party going, it gets the whining going, it gets the hips gyrating.
Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. For the Yemen, for the music shot make you wiggle and a something for you.
I grew up, like I said, I grew up listening to dance hall, but at the same time, I went to church every Sunday. I grew up in the church. I was prayed over. I would, every night till this day, my grandmother at 8 o'clock goes on prayer calls. I was in the praise and worship team. I would be in plays. Like, my family were religious, they were Christian, and like I said, traditionally, very traditional. You're a woman, if you're a woman, you have kids, you get married, and you go to church, you settle down, you cook for your man, you act like a lady, you sit like a lady. I got that a lot, sit like a lady. But at the same time, I'm over here listening to Die 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 by Maka Diamond, okay? So, in Die Die, Maka Diamond is retelling to the listeners how good her partner's sex is, how well he performs in the bedroom, how much he has her in a space of intimacy where she's calling out, she's vulnerable, like it's intense for her. That is the entire song. Like, she's basically giving her man his tens. She's giving her man his props in the bedroom. And I feel like I said it in a very sugar-coated way. Maka Diamond did not. Maka Diamond did not. Alright, let me try to say a lyric without cringing, because when I talk about sex, I cringe, and but it's okay. Alright, so in the song she says, the F I sweet me boy, like, God, that sounds so crazy, I'm gonna cringe. But yeah, she's saying the F I sweet me. So in Jamaica, when we say something that sweet you, that means like it's either funny, something is giving you pleasure, you're having a good time. Like, you know, like when you're laughing, right? My parent would walk up to me and say, what's sweet you? Like, why are you laughing? It's giving you joy, it's giving you pleasure, right? And when we say the F I sweet me, she's saying, no way I'm like breaking down the lyrics to Die Die by Maka Diamond, but she's saying the sex is good. It's giving her pleasure. The sex is great. And the F, when I say F, I mean the curse word F, the F word. The F word, I sweet me. That's what she's saying. So I was walking around, not even in middle school yet, not even in the 5th grade, like die 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 die. And like we were exposed to that type of music, and my family would host a lot of backyard events and they would play those type of songs. I remember listening to Conjugal Visits. I didn't even know what Conjugal Visits were. I didn't even understand the concept of prison at the time, but I was listening to Conjugal Visits. Conjugal Visits is when someone that's in prison and their partner gets a room, a little B&B. Let me not, no. They get a room, I don't know, sometimes it's trailers, and they have sex in it. I'm not sure the system behind getting a conjugal visit. Like, do you put a request in? Is it good behavior? Like, do you write an essay and does it get approved? I'm not sure how it works, but Conjugal Visits features Spice, my queen Spice. I love Spice. She could do no wrong. That's mother. Spice and Vybz Kartel. Hits. They're both hit makers. They're both legends in the dance hall community. They're both legends in Jamaica, period. They're both legends to me, period. So it's basically them telling the audience, the listeners, what they're doing to each other, what they're gonna do to each other. And just very explicit, just very intense lyrics. And the way that WAP had Western media in a frenzy, they were like, oh my god, guys, this is not ladylike, this is ruining the children. Imagine them getting a hold of Vybz Kartel. Imagine them getting a hold of Dancehall. I don't think Western media, when I say Western media, I would say that, yeah, you know what I mean. Like, they're not gonna be ready for that. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. Let's keep it to the people who know, right? But at the same time, mind you, I'm not even 4 feet yet, and I know Conjugal Visits. I'm listening to Conjugal Visits. I'm listening to my aunts who are Christian listen to Conjugal Visits. Now, I don't want to say this to take away from their faith. They are faithful women, but dance hall is a cultural thing. It's culturally Jamaican, and we're from Jamaica. And when you're away from home, you still partake in the culture. You still listen to the music. You still, you do anything you can to be closer to home. You cook the food. You raise your children like they were in Jamaica. It's not, I don't know. That's a whole different topic. But yeah, you're gonna listen to the cultural music of where you're from. So, but the thing is that there's a generational divide by the people that raised us and the teenagers and the kids and their offspring, right? The later generations. So we were listening to Vybz Kartel, Mavado, Spice, all of that. And our parents grew up with Beenie Man, right? Beenie Man, he's a pioneer to dancehall. He was there around when it was first building up. So that's their generation. I just want to say that Beenie Man does have explicit lyrics. But when you compare early Beenie Man, like early dancehall Beenie Man, to what Vybz Kartel is saying, it's a bit more intense and explicit with Vybz Kartel. So I would say that there is a bit of a generational divide by that. For Vybz Kartel and not rappers, whoa. For Vybz Kartel, would you be? No, MCs, I guess. I don't know. No, that's for rappers. Stop, you're getting off topic. For Vybz Kartel and like artists around that, like Popcorn and stuff like that, they're gonna be very explicit with sexual desires, sexual topics. They're gonna say it like how it is. It's not gonna be coded or sugar coated, or it's not gonna be wrapped up in a bow. They are going to be very and sometimes that could be a little, like, sometimes we can't play certain songs around my grandmother but we can play certain songs around our parents and stuff like that because they're in the know as well. So that's what it's like growing up in a Jamaican household in America. As most immigrant families are, they're a bit traditional and a bit culturally conservative. But at the same time, we were listening to dancehall. We were listening to very sexually and explicit content. It was a weird in between. We couldn't talk about, as girls, mind you, let's have my identity in there. As a black cis woman, as a girl in the family, I wasn't able to talk about boys that I liked or people that I liked, but I could still listen to Spice. I could still listen to the women of dancehall express their desires, and the men of dancehall express what they wanted to do with women and their partners. It was an interesting between. It was a bit confusing at the time, but now that I think about it in retrospect, it's confusing. But as a child, it was how it was. And yeah, that is my conversation on my thoughts, I would say, on growing up Jamaican, listening to dancehall in a conservative family. I hope you enjoyed this little podcast video. Subscribe to my blog. Stay tuned. There's going to be more content from where that is coming from. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.